Hello everyone, my name is David. Today we are going to take a look at another horrible case with you. On April 7th, 1993, millions of people mourned the death of the dream girl Divya Bharti, who passed away at the age of only 19. When this news became known, everyone was shocked. Her death remains a mystery to this day. In Indian cinema, there have been many mysteries that even Indian cinema itself couldn't solve, and among them is the mystery of Divya Bharti's death. An actress who always kept herself happy and made others laugh, one day became so silent that her death became a mystery. Divya Bharti came into films so that she wouldn't have to study anymore, as she was never interested in studying. After her first movie, Babli Raja, which broke many records, after that she was flooded with film offers. Her film career lasted only 3 years. However, when Divya Bharti entered Indian cinema, she was called a copy of Sri Devi because her appearance was quite similar to Sri Devi's, and at that time, Sri Devi was a top actress. In her first year of her career, Divya Bharti had acted in 10 films, which is a significant record in itself. In total, she acted in 14 films, and 3 of them were released after her death. She had worked in almost more than 80% of all these films. Besides, Divya Bharti also acted in 6 South Indian movies, and she had worked in a total of 20 movies. Not only that, even when she passed away, she had signed contracts for 12 upcoming movies. Once, Divya Bharti was shooting a movie with the famous actor Govinda. During that time, Govinda introduced Divya Bharti to Sajid Nadiadwala. After this, Sajid Nadiadwala and Divya Bharti started getting close to each other, and they fell in love. Afterwards, they got married on May 10, 1992. This marriage was very private, and very few people attended it. This marriage was done in Islamic way, and Divya Bharti had embraced Islam. These two got married, but the marriage was kept hidden from the world because Divya Bharti's career was at its peak at that time, and she was afraid that if news of her marriage spread in the industry, her career might be ruined. Because it used to be that before marriage, an actress would have more fan following, and after marriage, their fan following would slowly start decreasing. Therefore, Divya Bharti and Sajid Nadiadwala decided that they would tell people about their marriage after some time. However, it is also said that Divya Bharti did not want to hide her marriage from people, but she did not tell anyone about it on the insistence of her husband, Sajid Nadiadwala. After this, Sajid Nadiadwala buys a flat for Divya Bharti in Mumbai. In this flat, Divya Bharti used to live alone, and occasionally her brother Kunal Bharti would come to visit her. After her death, it also came to light that the flat in which Divya Bharti used to live was neither in Divya Bharti's name nor in Sajid Nadiadwala's name. It was in someone else's name. The apartment where Divya Bharti used to live was named Tulsi Apartment, and she lived on the 5th floor. Her flat there was a 3 BHK. On April 5th, Divya Bharti was shooting in Hyderabad. After finishing the shoot that day, she returned to Mumbai in the afternoon. During the shoot, she also got a slight injury on her leg. After this incident, she bought another flat in Mumbai, and she was even happier after buying this flat. She told her brother about this flat. Divya Bharti told her brother Kunal Bharti that now the whole family will live together in one place. All these things were happened on April 5th. She was supposed to go somewhere for shooting the next day, April 6th, but due to her leg injury, she could not go for the shoot and had convinced the producer to postpone the shoot for a day. On April 5th, 1993, on the same day, Divya Bharti's friend Nita Lula, who was also her dress designer, receives a call and tells her that she needs to talk to her about the upcoming movie Andolan. Divya Bharti asks her to come to her house because she had injured her foot and couldn't go out. Around 9 o'clock at night, Nita Lola and her husband Shyam Lola both go to Divya Bharti's flat to meet her. That day, only Divya Bharti and her maid Amrita were present at home. After that, Nita Lola and Shyam sit in the drawing room with Divya Bharti, discussing the dress. There were a total of 4 people inside the house: Divya Bharti, her maid Nita Lola, and Shyam Lola. Nita Lola, her husband Shyam, and Divya Bharti were all having a discussion together, and they were also drinking. Divya Bharti was drinking rum that day, while Nita Lola and Shyam Lola were drinking scotch. The maid was preparing snacks in the kitchen, so eating, drinking, and conversation were all happening simultaneously. So on the 5th floor of the Tulsi apartment, 4 people were present, 3 were drinking, and 1 maid was preparing snacks. Divya Bharti repeatedly called her maid and asked for snacks. She even went to the kitchen herself 2 or 3 times to get snacks. All of them leave around 11 o'clock at night. Now, all 3 of them had drunk a lot, especially Divya Bharti, who had drunk a bit too much. After that, Divya Bharti goes to the kitchen. In this Tulsi apartment, there was only one window near the kitchen where there was no iron grill. When Divya Bharti goes to the kitchen, she sits with her back towards the kitchen window and her face towards the inside. The wall on which Divya Bharti was sitting was 12 inches wide. As we told you, Divya Bharti had consumed a lot of alcohol that night, which caused her balance to deteriorate, leading her to fall from the window. Before moving forward, quickly subscribe to the channel. This is strange. You haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Quickly subscribe to it. The area where she fell was the parking lot, but there were no cars parked there that night, which is why she hit the ground directly. When Divya Bharti fell from the window, the maid screamed loudly. During this time, Nita and her husband Shyam were watching TV in the living room, although before this, Divya Bharti had gone to the kitchen several times to get something and had returned, but this time she did not come back. According to the maid, it took 3 minutes for the entire incident to occur. Moreover, there was no car present in the parking area. If there had been a car parked there, perhaps she would have suffered fewer injuries, and her life would have been saved. After Divya Bharti fell downstairs, she was still breathing, so she was quickly taken to the nearby Cooper Hospital. After examining Divya Bharti, the doctor declared her dead, which shocked Nita Lola and her husband Shyam Lola. The news of Divya Bharti's death slowly spread throughout India. At first, no one believed that Divya Bharti was no longer among them. Then, the news of Divya Bharti's death was broadcast on every TV channel, and people finally believed that Divya Bharti had actually died. After that, a police team interrogated everyone present in the house, and even those who were present inside the house were questioned rigorously. And a few days later, the post-mortem report also came out, stating that the cause of death was the impact of hitting the ground. The police interrogated many people during their investigation, but they did not find any evidence. In the end, the police decided that it was an accident and closed the case. After that, some theories emerged. Divya Bharti's husband, Sajid Nadiadwala, had some relations with the underworld, which may have led Divya Bharti into depression, and she took this step. Another theory is that Sajid Nadiadwala's parents did not like Divya Bharti because she was much younger and did not match their status. This was also said by Divya Bharti's parents sometime later, but there was no solid evidence to support this claim. After that, the third theory emerges that it was a murder. After this, the police thoroughly examined all the evidence and investigated every aspect of the case, but they did not find any concrete evidence that it was a murder, so the case was closed after some time. Divya Bharti's death occurred on April 5, 1993, and on April 7, 1993, her body was handed over to her family. Her final rites were also performed on the same day. At that time, almost half of Mumbai had come to see her final rites because a very bright star had set today, who had started her career at the age of 16 and got married at the age of 18 and died at the age of 19. So this is the end of today's video, but we have created several more videos that you can watch by clicking on your screen. If you appreciate our efforts, like and share this video. If you haven't subscribed, do so now. Thank you. Hello everyone, my name is David. Today we are going to take a look at another horrible case with you. Today's another story is from Surat, a city in Gujarat, India. There lived a very wealthy businessman named Dishit Jariwala who lived with his wife and child. Their house was in Parle Point, a very posh area in Surat. Dishit Jariwala was also very rich, and he had been married for only 2 years. However, suddenly, on June 28, 2016, he was killed in his own home. Someone had murdered him. When Dishit Jariwala's wife sees her husband's body, she starts crying loudly, and hearing her voice, the neighbors come to their house. It was around 11 o'clock at that time, and those same people informed the police. Dishit Jariwala's wife's name was Velsi, and she was the only witness of his murder. The next day, the news of Dishit Jariwala's murder is printed in every newspaper because he was a very big businessman and he had a good reputation in the city, so it was not unusual for the murder of a big businessman to happen like this. The crime scene was that when the police went to Dishit Jariwala's house, they found his body inside. His house was 2 stories, and when the police examined the rooms of the house, the belongings of each room were scattered around, making it look like someone had come to steal. Only 3 people lived in this house: Dishit Jariwala himself, his wife Velsi, and their 1.5-year-old daughter. The police start their investigation by first questioning the neighbors, but the neighbors didn't know much. Now only 2 people were left in the house, a little girl and Dishit Jariwala's wife. The daughter was very young, so the police couldn't ask her anything, and the only person left was just Velsi. Velsi's condition had worsened significantly after her husband's death. She was in a terrible state, crying continuously, unable to bear her husband's death. Now, in front of the police, there was a big problem because only Velsi could move the police investigation forward because she was the only witness. That's why the police think they'll have to give Velsi 2 or 3 days' time, and when she becomes a little normal, then the police will question Velsi, and only then will the police be able to continue their work. After hearing about Dishit Jariwala's death, all the relatives come to his house and take care of Velsi. After 4 days of the murder, Velsi starts to return to normal, and then the police interrogate her. Velsi, the wife of Dishit Jariwala, tells the police that on the night of June 27th, she, her husband, and their daughter went to a relative's house for dinner. After dinner, they returned home around 9:30. Velsi took her daughter to the first floor where their bedroom was, and Dishit Jariwala followed her. At that moment, Dishit Jariwala remembered that he had forgotten to turn off the lights in the parking area, so he told his wife that he would go back to turn off the lights. With the help of stairs, Dishit Jariwala returns to the parking area and turns off the lights. Meanwhile, Velsi was waiting for her husband. It had been about 5-10 minutes since he had gone downstairs, but Dishit Jariwala had not yet returned upstairs. Velsi calls out to him, but there is no response. Velsi starts to feel a little scared as to why her husband has not returned upstairs yet, so she lays her daughter on the bed and goes downstairs herself. That's when she sees 3 masked men coming upstairs, with one of them holding a knife to Dishit Jariwala's neck. Seeing this, Velsi gets scared, and 2 of the masked men take off all the jewelry she was wearing. Then, one of the men locks Velsi and her daughter inside the bathroom. After that, Velsi does not know what happened next because she was locked in the bathroom. After spending about an hour in the bathroom, when the noise from outside stops, Velsi thinks that the thieves might have left. So she breaks the door of the bathroom, which was actually made of glass, and shatters. When Velsi comes out of the bathroom, she sees her husband lying on the floor with blood all around him, clearly indicating that he had been killed by the thieves. Upon seeing her dead husband, Velsi starts crying loudly, and hearing her cries, the neighbors also come there. After taking Velsi's statement, the police start their investigation. In this whole case, only Velsi was the witness. So the police also suspect Velsi and try to find out whether they actually went to a friend's house for dinner that day or not. Then the investigation reveals that they both actually went to have dinner at a friend's house where their parents also lived, and they had gone abroad just a few days ago. After this, the police continue their investigation and find a clue, after which the real murderer is revealed in front of the police. The police had found 6 such clues, after which they easily reached the murderer. We will tell you what those clues were later. Before moving forward, quickly subscribe to the channel. This is strange. You haven't subscribed to the channel yet. Quickly subscribe to it. On the other hand, the condition of the wife was very bad. She cried so much that she fainted several times, and everyone thought that her life was ruined, and now the future of her child was in danger. In reality, she was the killer. She killed her husband. Because there was only one witness to this murder, which was Velsi herself, the police quietly started gathering evidence against Velsi, and in the end, she turned out to be the real killer. Velsi had lied to the police 6 times. We will tell you what those lies were. Velsi tells the police in her statement that when they came home after eating outside, her husband went downstairs to turn off the lights in the parking area. She had previously lied to the police because when the police inspected the house, they found a switch that could turn the parking area light on or off. Despite this switch, why would Velsi's husband go downstairs to turn off the parking area light? When the police asked Velsi this question, she remained silent. After this, Velsi told the police that when her husband went downstairs, 3 thieves had held a knife to his neck and were bringing him upstairs. After the police investigated, they thought that if a thief had entered the house, then some door or window must have been broken. But no door or window in the house was broken. This clearly meant that whoever came into the house actually came with the help of someone inside. The thieves did not use any force. This is the second lie of Velsi that the police caught. After this, the police caught the third lie that if the thieves' intention was to kill Dishit Jariwala, they could have easily done so in the parking area below, rather than taking him upstairs with the help of the stairs. If there were other people inside the house, then the thieves' plan was in danger. This means that the thieves knew that only Dishit Jariwala and his wife were present inside the house. This information was already known to the thieves. After this, the police caught the fourth lie that Velsi had told the police that the thieves had taken off all her jewelry and then locked her in the bathroom. While the gold chain was around Dishit Jariwala's neck, the gold ring was on his finger, and the wallet and expensive mobile were with him. The thieves did not steal from him. If the thieves had come to steal in the house, why did they not steal all the valuable items from Dishit Jariwala? The clear meaning of this was that the intention of the thieves was not to loot, but to kill Dishit Jariwala. After this, the police caught Velsi in her fifth lie, where she had told the police that when the thieves were bringing her husband up from downstairs, there was also a scuffle between them and they had hit her husband, Dishit Jariwala. But when the police saw Dishit Jariwala's body, he was wearing glasses. The police thought that if the thieves had beaten Dishit Jariwala, then his glasses should have fallen down, but that didn't happen. This meant that Velsi was lying. After this, the police caught Velsi in her sixth lie, where in her statement she was saying that 3 robbers had come to her house. But when the police carefully checked all the cameras in the neighborhood and synchronized the time, only 2 people were seen in those cameras, not 3. In reality, only 2 people had entered the house that night, not 3. So this was the final lie that the police caught from Velsi. After this, she was arrested. After Velsi's arrest, the police asked her what the real story behind the murder was. Tell us everything truthfully. After this, Velsi tells the police that before she got married to Dishit Jariwala, she was in love with a boy named Suketu and also wanted to marry him. But Velsi's family did not arrange her marriage with Suketu, and they forcibly married Velsi to Dishit Jariwala. Even after her marriage, Velsi used to meet Suketu occasionally. The police asked Velsi, "If your marriage was forcibly arranged with Dishit Jariwala by your family, then why didn't you take a divorce from your husband instead of killing him?" Then Velsi tells the police that if she had taken a divorce like that, then she would not have received her husband's entire property. That's why Velsi had to marry Suketu and also wanted her husband's entire property. That's why she planned with Suketu to kill her husband, and in this plan, one of Suketu's friends also helped her. Let me tell you what happened that day when Velsi and her husband returned home. When they arrived, Velsi told her husband to go upstairs while she closed all the doors downstairs. However, Velsi didn't lock the front door from inside. Afterwards, two thieves easily entered the house and found all the weapons. Then, the thieves caught Dishit Jariwala and beat him. Velsi was standing right in front of her husband, waiting for him to die. When her husband died, she told Suketu to take all her jewelry. Then, both thieves scattered all the belongings in the house to make it look like a robbery. Then, both thieves left the house, and then Velsi went into the bathroom, broke the door, and started screaming loudly. Hearing her screams, the neighbors came over and called the police. So, this was today's story. Thank you for joining us on this journey today. We hope you enjoyed the content and found it valuable. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more insightful videos like this one.
Hello everyone, my name is David. Today we are going to take a look at another horrible case with you. Humans have certain enemies, with lust, anger, attachment, greed, and ego being the most dominant. If any of these take control over us, we tend to walk down the wrong path. The case we are going to discuss today is a prime example of this. In this case, some criminal-minded individuals driven by their lust take the lives of two innocent people. The date was October 29th, 2014. A man named Mrunal Krishna Das walked into the Saket police station in India's capital Delhi to file a missing persons report for his daughter, Mumita Das, and her friend Avijit Paul. The police learned that the two friends had been missing for the past 6 days since they had traveled to Dehradun, a city in the state of Uttarakhand. Upon discovering that they had been gone for so long, the Saket police immediately sprang into action. Their first step was to obtain the call records of Mumita Das and Avijit Paul. After a few hours of investigation, the police found that Avijit had repeatedly called a certain number on October 23, 2014, and that his last call had also been made to the same number. We say last call because since October 23rd, both Mumita and Avijit's cell phones had been switched off. Without wasting any time, the police traced the details of this number. They discovered that it was registered under the name of a man named Raju Das. The police then tried calling Raju Das, only to find that his phone was also switched off. Further investigation revealed that Raju Das's phone had been off since October the 23rd, the same day that Mumita and Avijit's phones had gone offline. Now, the fact that both Mumita and Avijit's phones had been switched off since October the 23rd, and Raju Das's phone had also gone off offline at the exact same time, raised suspicion. The police began to question how such a major coincidence could occur. Meanwhile, they also asked Mumita's parents if their daughter knew anyone named Raju Das. However, Mumita's parents told the police that she had never mentioned a person by that name. Determined to find out who Raju Das was, the Saket police launched a search for him. Meanwhile, 914 miles away from Delhi, at the Dum Dum police station in Kolkata, Avijit's parents had also filed a missing person report for their son. As a result, the Kolkata police also started searching for Avijit. Before we proceed further, it is important to note that Delhi, being the capital of India, holds significant political importance as a union territory. Additionally, Dehradun, located 160 miles from Delhi in the state of Uttarakhand, is known for its pleasant weather and natural beauty, making it a popular tourist destination. Furthermore, 27-year-old Mumita Das was originally from Kalyani, a city in the Indian state of West Bengal. On the other hand, 24-year-old Avijit Paul was from Dumdum, a locality in Kolkata, West Bengal. This meant that the distance between Mumita and Avijit's hometowns was only about 28 miles, and their houses were roughly an hour apart. However, at the time, both of them were living in a rented apartment in Lado Sarai, Delhi, due to work commitments. Since they were living together, they shared the rent, as Mumita was working as a teacher at a school, while Avijit Paul was an artist. Over time, their friendship had deepened significantly, and whenever they felt like going out in the evening after work, they would go together. In 2014, Diwali in India was celebrated on October the 23rd. Diwali, also known as Deepawali, is the festival of lights that celebrates the victory of good over evil and is one of the biggest festivals in India. To make the October 2014 Diwali memorable, Mumita and Avijit decided to celebrate the festival in the beautiful city of Dehradun, Uttarakhand. They planned a short trip and, after finalizing all the details, arrived in Dehradun from Delhi on October 21st, 2014. Before leaving for the trip, Mumita and Avijit had informed their families about their plans. After reaching Dehradun, they enjoyed the first 2 days exploring local places, and every night they would return to their rented room and talk to their parents. However, suddenly, on Diwali, October the 23rd, 2014, both their phones were switched off, marking the beginning of their family's growing concerns. Initially, their families assumed that the phones were off due to low battery, but as hours passed and neither Mumita nor Avijit's phones turned back on, their anxiety increased. By then, their families were completely panicked, and they started reaching out to their friends for any information or asked, but no one had any clue about their whereabouts. They waited, hoping that either Avijit or Mumita would call, but several days passed with no contact. On October the 29th, 2014, Mumita's father, Mrunal Krishna Das, went to Saket police station in Delhi to file a missing report for his daughter and her friend, Avijit. Meanwhile, Avijit Paul's father had already filed a missing report at Dum Dum police station in his locality as Delhi police continued searching for Mumita Das, Avijit Paul, and Raju Das. They discovered that although Mumita's phone had last been switched off on October 23rd, its international mobile equipment identity, IMEI number, indicated that it had been reactivated on October 24th, 2014, and had since been used with a new SIM card. Upon investigating the SIM card, the police found that it was registered under the name of a man named Mohan Das. They tracked Mohan Das's location and reached him, only to find out that the number was currently being used by someone named Raju Das. This was now the second time that Raju's name had surfaced in the investigation. Following this revelation, Delhi police, along with Avijit Paul's cousin Joyanta Paul and Mumita Das's brother, Mirgunk Das, arrived at the Vikas Nagar police station in Dehradun. However, the Delhi police do not receive any information about Mumita and Avijit from the Vikas Nagar police station. Therefore, they are sent from Vikas Nagar police station to Chakrata police station for further details. Upon reaching there, the Delhi police are informed that an unidentified dead body was found in the jurisdiction of the Purala police station a few days ago. Purala, in fact, is one of the 70 assembly constituencies in the Indian state of Uttarakhand. Anyway, along with the Delhi police, Mumita's brother and Avijit's cousin brother also rushed to the Purola police station. There, the Delhi police asked the Purola police to show them the unidentified dead body. The Purola police then show them a photograph of the unidentified dead body, along with some items recovered from it. After seeing all the items and the photo of the dead body, Avijit's cousin brother, Joyanta Paul, immediately recognizes that the body in the picture is indeed that of Avijit Paul. Now, it was confirmed to everyone that the Avijit they had been searching for over the past several days was no longer alive. However, there was still no information about Mumita, and the biggest question remained: how did Avijit die, and if someone had killed him, who was his murderer? The police did suspect Raju Das, but no one knew who Raju Das was or where he lived. At the Purola police station, some officers from the Delhi police receive important information from one of their informants. The officers learn from the informant that Raju Das, whom they have been trying to track down, is heading towards the city of Vikas Nagar in Dehradun in a Bolero car. Moreover, according to the informant, the vehicle Raju Das was traveling in had the license plate number UK07 TA7916. After learning this, the police immediately station themselves on the route leading to Vikas Nagar and begin waiting for Raju Das to arrive. Finally, the moment arrives that the Delhi police had been eagerly anticipating. After only a short wait, they spot a Bolero car approaching them. The license plate matches the one provided by the informant, so the police stop the vehicle and take the driver into custody. Upon checking the driver's ID card, the police immediately confirm that the man is indeed Raju Das. The Delhi police then take Raju Das into their custody and begin interrogating him. The first thing the police do is show Raju pictures of Mumita and Avijit and ask him if he knows them. However, Raju deliberately refuses to recognize them at first, but after a while he admits that he does know Mumita and Avijit. In fact, at that moment, the police had already presented Raju with the full details of his conversation with Avijit. Following this, Raju tells the police that he dropped off Mumita and Avijit near the Tiger Falls waterfall at 5:30 p.m. on October 23rd. Adding to this, Raju informs the police that after dropping them off at Tiger Falls, he left for his home and has no knowledge of what happened to them afterward. But when the police officers ask him why he has Mumit Das's cell phone, Raju has no answer. Because of this, he starts trying to divert the conversation. However, when the police apply a bit of pressure, Raju Das breaks down and reveals a shocking and tragic story. According to his statement on October 23rd at 5:30 p.m., Mumita and Avijit booked Raju Das's vehicle to reach their rented room. Raju had barely driven them a short distance when he spotted his friends Kundan Das, Guru Das, and Bablu Das on the way. These three young men were from Raju's village and all were between the ages of 20 and 30. They approached Raju and said, "Brother, if you're heading toward the village, drop us off too." Since Mumita and Avijit had not booked a shared taxi, they initially objected to Raju letting others into the vehicle. However, Raju assured them saying, "These three are from my village. I know them well, and they are very decent people. I'll drop you at your location first, then take them to the village." The only mistake Mumita and Avijit made at that moment was believing Raju's words and allowing his friends to get in. Kundan, Gudu, and Bablu Das then sat in the back seat. However, the vehicle had barely gone a little further when the three men in the back began harassing Mumita, who was sitting in the middle seat. Seeing this, Avijit became furious and tried to resist them. He also asked Raju to stop the vehicle, but instead the three men turned on Avijit and started beating him inside the car. During all this, Raju did nothing to help Avijit or Mumita. Instead, he steered the vehicle toward a deserted road. At this point, the three men in the back pulled out a strong nylon rope and wrapped it around Avijit's neck. Then they pulled the rope tightly, so tight that Avijit stopped breathing. After this, Raju Das drove the car away from the route to Tiger Falls and instead took another road. Together, they placed Avijit's body in the trunk. Then, the three men moved to the middle seat next to Mumita. She kept screaming for help, but they covered her mouth. Raju Das then drove the vehicle further into an isolated area and stopped at a secluded spot. The men dragged Mumita out of the car. Raju, Guddu, and Kundan held her hands and feet while Bablu forcibly assaulted her. After committing this horrific crime, they feared that if they let Mumita live, she would report everything to the police, leading to their arrest. So they decided to kill her, just like Avijit. Using Mumita's own scarf, they strangled her to death. Now, they all start planning how to dispose of Mumita and Avijit's bodies. They decide that they will throw both bodies into the Yamuna River. Then they place Mumita's body in the trunk of the car, along with Avijit's body. Taking the car, they reach the Yamuna Bridge between 10 and 11 p.m. At that time, there was no one passing over the bridge, and due to its long length, there were no houses nearby either. First, they take out Mumita's body from the car together and throw it into the river. After disposing of Mumita's body in the river, they were just about to throw Avijit's body as well, when they suddenly noticed a car approaching from the other side. Seeing this, they panic and, out of fear, are unable to throw Avijit's body into the river. Instead, they immediately start their car and flee from the scene. After driving for some time, they reach a village called Navgaon, where they spot a deserted area. Seeing this, they take Avijit's dead body out of the trunk and throw it into a deep ravine in that area. Then, feeling relieved, they head back toward their village. However, before disposing of Mumita and Avijit's bodies, they had already looted their money. Additionally, before throwing Avijit's body into the ditch, they had taken off his shirt. After interrogating Raju Das, the police also searched him. During the search, the police found a small purse in Raju Das's pocket, which contained 200 Indian rupees, a voter ID, and an identity card with Avijit's photo. When the police questioned him, Raju admitted that he had stolen the purse from Avijit's pocket and found the money and identity proof inside. After Raju's confession, the police asked him where Bablu, Kundan, and Guddu could be found. In response, Raju told them that they were currently living carefree in their village. Upon learning this, the police immediately set out for their village. However, as soon as the police entered the village, they saw 3 men approaching. Seeing them, Raju, who was sitting in the police vehicle, identified them as Bablu, Kundan, and Guddu. But as soon as the 3 saw the police vehicle coming toward them, they tried to run away. Some police officers chased after them and soon managed to take them into custody. After that, the officers brought all 4 accused to the police station and also seized Raju Das's car. The police then interrogated Bablu, Kundan, and Guddu as well. By the time the police arrested them, 20 days had passed since Mumita and Avijit's murder. Because of this, on November 13th, 2014, the police set out to search for Mumita's body based on the suspect's statements. However, the police had already recovered Avijit's body on October 31st, 2014. Additionally, some of Mumita's relatives accompanied the police during the search. After some time, the search team discovered a decomposed female corpse on the banks of the Yamuna River. The upper body was covered with a black shirt, but there was no clothing below the waist. Now, the police ask Mumita's relatives, who are present with them, to identify the dead body, but they are unable to confirm the identity with certainty. However, they state that they are 50% sure that the body belongs to Mumita Das. The police then take the dead body to the police station. To confirm the identity, they summon Mumita's brother, Mirgunk Das, to the station. After examining the items recovered from Mumita, her clothes, and the photographs of the body, Mirgunk Das confirms that the body is indeed that of his sister, Mumita Das. Once this is confirmed, an autopsy is conducted on Mumita. on November 15th, 2014. On the other hand, on November 18th, 2014, the Uttarakhand police present all 4 accused before the Chief Judicial Magistrate of Uttarkashi and take them into police custody. So far, teams from various police stations in Uttarakhand, along with the Delhi police, have been working on this case. However, on November 29, 2014, the case is officially handed over to the Vikas Nagar police station in Dehradun. The 4 accused are sent to jail for further investigation, while the police start gathering crucial evidence to ensure that Avijit and Mumita's killers receive the harshest possible punishment. During interrogation, all the accused revealed that they had thrown Avijit and Mumita's travel bags into the bushes along the Kalsi Chakrata motor road. Following this lead, the Vikas Nagar police recover both bags from the bushes based on the accused's directions. During their investigation, the police confirmed that the bags belonged to Mumita and Avijit, as they contain their clothes and some personal documents. With all the evidence collected, the initial court hearings for this case begin in the lower court, where the trial continues for nearly 4 years. Finally, after a long wait, the court delivers its final verdict in 2018. The court finds all 4 accused guilty of murdering Mumita and Avijit. Additionally, the court considers driver Raju Das the main culprit and sentences him to death, while Kundan Das, Guru Das, and Bablu Das are sentenced to life imprisonment. It is important to note that the Indian government has the authority to reduce a life sentence to 14 years or release a prisoner after serving at least 14 years. Therefore, when the court sentenced Gudu, Kundan, and Bablu to life imprisonment, it reduced their sentence to 14 years. However, since these 3 also attempted to destroy evidence after murdering Mumita and Avijit, the court added an additional 7-year sentence for this crime. Despite this, the families of Mumita and Avijit expressed dissatisfaction with the verdict, stating that it would have been better if all the accused had received the death penalty. Meanwhile, the 4 accused challenged the lower court's decision in the Uttarakhand High Court. Given the severity of their crimes and the previous court ruling, everyone expected that the High Court would uphold the lower court's verdict. However, the decision announced on May 13, 2024, shocked everyone. The Uttarakhand High Court ruled that there was insufficient evidence against the accused and acquitted them of all charges. Furthermore, the court directed the police to release them from jail as soon as possible. In the end, the same individuals who were previously convicted and sentenced by the lower court were set free by the High Court. There is no further information available online regarding what happened in this case after this verdict. However, if any new updates about this case emerge in the future, we will share them in a community post on the David True Crime channel. So, with that, the Mumita Das and Avijit Paul murder case comes to an end right here. If you appreciate our efforts, like and share this video. If you haven't subscribed, do so now. Thank you.